Okay, so growing up, my family and my cousin's family and my grandma all lived right next to each other, like on the same land. And it was basically my house is right on the road, and then there's a driveway right next to my house. And that goes kind of behind my house, first to my grandma's house, and then it leads like out into the woods kind of to where my cousins used to live. So me and my cousins and my siblings, we all grew up really close. Like we were always together and everything. And every morning we would all always get on the bus together. And about 4 years ago, so I was in 8th grade, and so was my cousin Grace, and my sister and my cousin Charlotte were in 6th grade, and then my brother was in 4th grade. So the 5 of us always got on the bus together every morning, and one morning me and my siblings were waiting for the bus, and Char and Grace weren't coming. Like, we noticed that they were really late, so, but we didn't really think anything of it. And then we heard sirens coming down our road, and it was a police car, and it went by my house, and then up the driveway and past my grandma's house and then out to my cousin's house. But you can't see my cousin's house from my house or from the road, so we couldn't see anything that was going on. And then, so another police car came and an ambulance came and a lot of other cars came too, and they were all the volunteer EMTs for Bolton. So all of these cars were going to my cousin's house and we had no clue what was going on. So me and my siblings, we went back into my house and we just missed the bus, and I went into my house and I was trying to call everyone, like I was trying to call my mom and my grandma and my cousins, and nobody was answering, so, but I just kept calling, and then me and my siblings saw all the cars and the ambulance and the police cars leave down the driveway. And as soon as they turned out, my cousin Grace called me, and I answered the phone, and she was just hysterically crying, and she was really upset, and I couldn't understand anything she was saying, but she collected herself, and she just explained to me that that morning when her and Charlotte, because every morning they would go wake up Claire. They had a younger sister who was 3 years old at the time, and they would go wake up Claire every morning and then bring her to my grandma's house on their way out to the bus stop. But that morning when they went to go get her, she was having a seizure in her crib. So they just called 911, and the ambulance came and took her to the hospital. And it was really scary for them and for everyone really, because Claire had never had a seizure before, and Char and Grace had never seen anything like that before. So everyone was very shooken up. So since then, it's been 4 years. So Claire is 7 years old now, and she still has seizures. She has one about every 3 months, so like 4 times a year. And she has seizures because she was born with a condition called cerebral palsy. So the definition of cerebral palsy is a condition marked by impaired muscle coordination caused by damage to the brain at birth. So Claire was born 3 months early, and she was only 2.2 pounds when she was born, and she really wasn't expected to live. So in Claire's case, she did live, but she lived in the hospital for the first 3 months of her life, and there's many different variations of cerebral palsy, but in her case, the entire left side of her brain is basically just a black hole, so it's just filled with blood. So during the 3 months that she lived in the hospital, she had to have a lot of surgeries and procedures to keep her alive, but the most important one was that she had 2 drains inserted into her body. So she has one drain that's in the left side of her head, and then it's connected to a tube that leads to another drain that's in her stomach, and it just empties all of the excess blood out of her head so that it doesn't create pressure on her brain. So since the left side of her brain isn't really there, doesn't function at all really, the left side of her body doesn't work either, or doesn't work the way that it's supposed to. So her left arm and her left leg are both a lot smaller than they should be, and they don't move the right way that they should be able to. She has very little control over what they do. And so she, just to make sure that everything's going okay, she has a lot of doctors and a lot of doctor's appointments, and I have a list of all of them. She has physical therapy and occupational therapy twice a week. She sees an orthopedic doctor 4 times a year. She sees a physiatrist 4 times a year, a neurologist once a year, and a neurosurgeon twice a year. So she has been through a lot, and she is constantly dealing with her condition. But despite everything that she's been through, she's still a really happy kid, and she tries her hardest at everything she does. And she's definitely one of the strongest little kids that I know, so that's why I wanted to share her story.